Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Giant Bombcast. Happy holidays. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 820. Holy smokes, that's a fun number to say. Giant Bombcast is powered by NZXT, and I am your host, Jay Anachoa, co-captain of the ship, King of Cozy Town, Jeff Grubb.
That's right. What number was it? 820?
820.
820, yes. Smoke them. Smoke them if you got them.
That's right, you guys smoke them twice.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that'd be 840. We know. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm in a math kick this week.
Ambassador of math, litigator of the smoke, Jeff Backler is also here.
It's true. I'm the weed czar.
Weed Caesar.
I'm wearing our
I like
joggers,
that.
and they're really comfy.
Me too. How comfortable are these joggers? Listen, I am trying to always be clothing. But they're really good. They're super comfortable. I put them on. I was like, well, I'm not taking these off for like 2 days.
I'm really proud of us. We made these with our hands.
Yeah.
And they came out really cozy like. So get yourself some joggers.
Pro tip, definitely tie a knot in the end of the drawstring so that this drawstring doesn't get pulled into the pants.
Yeah, that's a jogger pro tip coming in hot. Just
Yep, do that right away.
feed that. Yeah.
Hot jogger strat.
Yeah, Jogger Strats.
What's your jogger strat for 2024? Click below.
Wear underwear under them.
Oh, okay. Backler, I gotta ask you about the code for my thing because I don't think I ever placed an order. But anyway, that is besides the point. You can get your own joggers and other assorted Giant Bomb stuff at store.giantbomb.com. But hey, it's the holidays. This isn't live. This is pre-recorded. What's happening? How do you think Christmas is gonna go? How do you think the holidays are gonna go?
Oh, by now I'm long dead.
Oh shit! Oh
Whoa!
Wow.
That's dark, man.
damn!
No, it's gonna go great. Let's see. When do people listen to this? Is it the day after
The
Christmas?
26th. Yeah.
Okay. So by then you've had let's see here, top 10 lists from people like Jesse Fatelli. Go read the one from Dan Shu. That's on the site right now.
Ooh.
There's a bunch of great guest lists on the site. Go ahead and read that stuff.
That's really cool.
And more coming in the days to come. Yeah. Let's Steve Kim. There's a list of his is on the site. Drew Scanlon. We gave that to you as a Christmas present on Christmas Day. So yeah, go read those.
That's so nice of us that we did that.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice of us.
We're so nice. And the content doesn't stop there, folks. More stuff slowly, periodically drippy dropping as the holiday week progresses as we are away on holiday break.
Christmas was great yesterday, or as I call it, Monday.
Sorry, I just got my double espresso. Thank you, Steph.
Thanks, Steph.
It was a lovely
Jan says
Monday.
Thank you too.
I do not say thank you. I say no. What am I? Oh, I will have gone skiing. I'm going. We're recording this.
Oh, so you're long dead. Never mind.
Whoa, chill. I don't need any bad omens going into the first.
No, it's like break a
ski
leg.
trip of the year.
It guarantees your safety.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
die.
go that hard. I'm not like a double black diamond guy anymore. I'm like maybe single blacks at the hardest.
You probably wear a helmet.
What do you? Of course, I wear a helmet.
When I don't know. Snowboarding in the early 2000s, we absolutely were not wearing helmets.
Okay, we definitely have had this conversation before. Something happened in skiing culture where literally overnight, I'm not joking, overnight, the entire winter sport community all universally agreed that we were all going to wear helmets. Something happened on a Thursday, and Friday, everyone on the hill was wearing.
Imagine if that's how it worked in hockey, where someone got hurt and we should have maybe wear a face mask.
Oh,
no.
man.
I think neck guards kind of overnight are popping up in a way like that, but not as explicit as the helmets on the mountain. Like straight up, I think it was a celebrity dying. I really do. I think like a celebrity hit a tree.
Bono. Bono. Sonny Bono.
No, Sonny Bono. Like someone hit a tree.
Sorry, not Bono died.
and
Not like
we
this.
killed him. We made joggers and then we killed Bono. No, like something, I'm telling you, it happened in like 06 or 08 or something like that. And then the next season, everyone on the hill wearing a helmet. And I also think snowboarding is also going the way of the buffalo. I think skiing is back in a big way.
Skiing's like the people are just like, no, I don't need to like try to look cool. I still really like snowboarding, but there was a time where like you didn't ski because snowboarding was the cool thing to do, and now that's just an absurd thing to think.
Well, it's just snowboarding is like so uncomfortably inconvenient on a mountain. Like, just it's cool going down, but like every other element of like getting up the mountain and all that bullshit.
It's like the hardest thing to do on a snowboard is dismounting from the ski lift. It's an art that literally no one can teach you. You have to fall down 25 times, and you're like, okay, I guess if I hang my foot halfway off and I keep my toes here and I dig my heel into the snow a little bit, there's like an 80% chance I'll still be standing when I ski or when I snowboard 5 feet away. It's crazy. It's real rough.
It's absolutely crazy.
I love it though. I do.
You guys are really selling me on holiday winter sports.
Wait, but you don't do any of that? You don't ski? You don't snowboard? You don't do any of that?
No.
Yeah.
My body's
you're
fragile
close to
now.
Tahoe. You're close-ish to Tahoe.
What do you guys think about this snow biking? Like Snow Bike Michael. Apparently that's like a thing where you sit on a bike that has skis on them. And you ride down the hill on basically it's a bike, but it's got 2 little skis for the wheels.
Listen, mountain biking already sounds terrifying. Adding snow and removing the wheels from the equation, no, thank you.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Sitting down and doing extreme sports very much jives with me. If I could sit down and do anything, I'm going to do it. So this sounds like my jam.
You know what's actually fun? Going snowshoeing. Done it a couple times now.
Isn't that just walking up a mountain with tennis rackets on your feet?
Yeah, but then like you fall back, and then like, oh man, I could have died in the snow.
Oh geez.
Oh, because it's so deep. Like,
because it's so deep, but your weight's being distributed and everything. You know.
I like weight distribution. I do think about that a lot. How like, hey, if you're on a bed of nails, but you put your whole body across it, it's not going to hurt.
I'm always thinking about that.
Me too. I really am.
Why?
Because it's weird.
I have a cousin who's about 10 years older than me, and he's a big, hardcore, like, backcountry ski guy. And he's getting a little up there in age, and it's sort of like, I don't know how much longer I can do, like, the completely, like, ungroomed terrain of backcountry hella skiing. And he's like, yeah, last time I went, they made me carry a beacon, and they said if I fall and I don't know where I am, the first thing I should do is drool. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you drool after a big crash because then you know where the ground is. And I was like, wait, what?
Oh.
Drooling for like a sense of gravity, right? Like you could be. Isn't that upsetting though?
That's
deeply upsetting.
Deeply upsetting.
I do think about like if I suddenly found like if someone put me in a coma and then took me 100 feet underwater and woke me. I don't know. And they took me 100 feet underwater and woke me up. And I had like no oxygen or whatever. Would I know which way was up? I wouldn't know which way to start swimming to get back to the surface?
That's such a weird thing because when you're in a coma, you are most certainly breathing. And yeah. So like, how did they bring you down there?
They put the face mask on there, and then they would take it off once I was 100 feet underwater.
And they were like, okay, we got him. Release him.
Yeah, exactly. And now does he know which way to swim is like to go up? And I'm like, I would probably start panicking before I would be able to do a thing where I'm like, just relax and see which way you start floating.
It would be the path of least resistance to go up. Like diving would come a lot harder.
Okay, we'll do this to you, Backler, then, and we'll see since you know what to do.
Can we do 10 feet? I prefer 10 feet, not 100.
10 feet, but at midnight. All right, that's the best I can give you.
It's someone's pool, not the ocean.
Yeah, okay, deal.
I found myself on a boat last week that I forgot to talk about this. And it was probably the most oddest. Pictures. It was the most oddest thing in the world. My partner's teacher friends were like, "Let's go have a dinner on a boat." And I'm like, "That sounds terrifying. I don't want to do that." But then I wound up doing it, and it was buffet style, right? And it's been a while since I've been to a buffet. And seeing people operate at a buffet, I just love it.
It's like someone's boat, or is like a boat you go to?
It's like a boat you go to. I was under the assumption we would just be on the boat, and I was thinking like, oh, that sounds fun. But then it was a whole bunch of different groups of people on this boat.
It's like a restaurant on the feet.
Yeah. And man, it's been a minute since I've been to a buffet, right? And just seeing people, just like the greed that kicks in automatically, and then seeing people finish, they go through the line, they get their salad, they get their bread, proteins, et cetera, they'll put their plate down, they'll immediately line up again and like continue to refill and restock.
I do that for my kids, and I never would be able to do it just for myself. But okay, man. I went up for my kids first. Now I'll go up for me, and even then I feel bad.
It's one of the two situations where human raw emotion is on display. It is a buffet and also at a music festival.
Well, and when you're playing Lethal Company.
Right, exactly. The rawest of human emotions are on display, where you claim territory, you claim ground, and you eat like you're never going to eat ever again.
God, yeah. Getting your spot at a music festival truly is Lord of the Flies.
This is my blanket. My blanket, that is the perimeter of my area. It is now Jefftonia.
The other terrifying aspect of finding your spot at a music festival are the people that just sit down, right? They sit down in a very heavily trafficked area and like, I don't want to step on you, so I'm going to do my best to avoid you, but I'm going to step on your blanket and, oh, I'm sorry, I may have kicked your drink over. But then other people, no care in the world. We'll just march over them.
Where are you guys at with like when you're walking in a crowded sidewalk and you're walking forward and you're on your side of the sidewalk and maybe you're with friends, but you're using up the appropriate amount of the sidewalk. And then a group of like 5 people are coming at you the opposite way. Someone's going to have to move. I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm just going to keep walking because I know we're in the right and I'm going to let them move around me. But I think there was a time where I would have been like, well, I guess I'll make myself really small and scoot over the side so these people can be more comfortable. I don't know. Where are you guys at with that?
I'll do either the scoot to the side. I'll also gauge where I'm going, and if I'm closer to my destination, then I will take precedent and keep walking. Or I'll throw my hands up and be like, "Excuse me," and just make a big deal out of it.
Make a big deal out of it. That's good. That's good. I'm just like looking straight ahead, not moving, and let them sort of scoot around me because I'm like,
the person who's walking on the right side of the sidewalk, to my understanding, has the right of way.
That's how I'm viewing it. Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do a fun little spin just to confuse everyone, though.
Sure, yeah.
Sometimes I will jump over them and leapfrog all 5 feet in the air over a person.
Yeah, your ups are really impressive.
You know what I love doing? The side of TikTok that I've loved seeing is people posing with people for a picture and just seeing what they do. You know, so they'll walk up to a bunch of strangers, right? And then they'll suddenly pose for a camera, and then like I just love seeing the stranger's reaction of like, am I gonna pose? What the fuck is this? I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah, it's a tough position to put somebody in, but it's mostly harmless and fun.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
What's the go-to pose if someone were to suddenly like be like, "Oh, I'll take a picture"? Is it like a peace sign, a thumbs up, or
it's big muscles? Yeah, big muscles.
It's peace sign, heavy metal horns, pointing. You know, all the go-tos.
Okay. My go-to whenever someone says make a funny face for a picture, I just turn around.
And show them the back of your head.
Yeah.
How's that for a funny face?
Yeah, it's a mystery now. Like, what was I doing? All right, folks, it's going to be a shorter Bombcast because it's a holiday week, and somehow we've already gone 10 plus minutes. When we decided it's going to be a little small boy today. Shouts out to the short kings out there. We see you, all 3 of you. Anyway,
It's who I jumped over.
They're all in a trench coat and trying to buy a movie ticket. Instead of a proper Bombcast today, Grub came up with the idea of looking at the 2024 calendar and seeing which games we're excited for. So we went.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, Grub. Go ahead.
It was like there's a calendar on GameSpot that seemed to have most of them, and I kind of just picked and chose some of the ones off of there that like I'm at least aware of to the point where I'm like I might check it out, and then we can talk about any of these a little bit more if we want. But I figure we'll just go through the ones that have dates, and then there's a list of TBD games that haven't had dates and probably are coming out next year. Or some of them are confirmed, but they just don't have an exact date. But yeah, let's start here in January. This is actually one of my most anticipated games of next year, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I had a really good time with this at Summer Game Fest, and it's coming in fast. It's like, in a matter of weeks. Actually, we'll probably get this as soon as we get back next year. We will probably get code for this, so I'm really looking forward to play this. Coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC. Did you guys ever get a chance to touch this one?
I did not. I was very jelly.
Yeah, so it really is impressive. It's a Metroidvania, but with Prince of Persia. It's got a new prince. I'm really interested in sort of the what they do with the setup, where it's like you're playing as this cool dude prince who's on a team of other people who are like going through these excursions in the world, and then all of a sudden like things go bad, and now those dudes who are your friends are now going to be the bosses throughout the game. I'm like, oh, I like that setup. That's always pretty cool. January 24th, we get Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. This is the franchise I am most like, I need to be into this. I really enjoyed what I played of Like a Dragon. I liked what I played of Yakuza 0. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about Like a Dragon these days?
I'm pretty pumped. I feel like a Dragon was a good injection into the series to reintroduce a lot of people, and some folks just don't jive well with the brawler nature of the original titles. But
yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of turn-based stuff, as y'all know. And I'm glad that this gives people a different opportunity to explore the hijinks of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And it seems like there's gonna be. Like a Dragon is always infamous for having an obscene amount of side stuff, like all of the parlor games you can play and crap. But this one, like the specific farming island management aspect of it seems like they're going all the way in. I also need to know what that palm tree freaks deal is.
Yeah, I want to find out all about that. Absolutely. This is I'm also just like appreciative of any game that keeps turn-based combat going and strong, and the fact that they're like, no, this is going to be Like a Dragon going forward, turn-based combat. I'm always I appreciate that. Like I said, then Tekken 8 on January 26th. Fighting games are in a good place. I am very excited to see what Tekken 8 is going to be doing. This is like the one 3D fighter out there in terms of like actually being able to move around in a 3D environment. Virtual Fighter's not really going. Soul Calibur's not really going. Yeah. Battle Arena Toshinden was never really going. So yeah, I'll be checking
out the ring.
Exactly. We need to get guys back. But yeah, I'll be checking this out. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to see who's going to get thrown into a volcano this time.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's
very true.
Yeah, right. There's a ton. This will have a ton of good story stuff, or at least fun, absurd story stuff. So that's always good to get.
I've been trained to just care about that. I did all those Tekken ending ranking stuff.
We'll have to update that.
We'll have to update it. I didn't realize, like, at some point I think they attempted to like stop being so absurd, and they're like, you know what, this is actually a serious story we're trying to tell here. And that's when it became a little less fun, I think. So yeah, I don't really plan on playing this game, but I will certainly watch the cutscenes at the end.
Yeah, hopefully they go back to being completely absurd. There's a chance.
Just do that.
We might have influenced Harada. Who knows?
Yeah, Harada's listening right now. February, we get Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on February 2nd. This is actually happening.
I'm sure it is.
This, it's Rocksteady. At a certain point, it's just got to be fun to play, right?
Listen.
Well, yeah.
Listen. I think I may have been one of the most vocal people on this website about how dog shit I thought it looked.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know why that I am suddenly taking a turn, and why am I excited for this now?
No, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I don't know.
I'm squad curious.
I'm curious. Suicide Squad, I am deeply uninterested in Suicide Squad. I don't care. I don't care about like the bad guys ganging up. I don't think that's fun.
Well, what if this time Superman's a bad guy?
Yeah, great, exactly. Like, look, at the same time, I am a bit of a mark for Batman, but whatever. It's just if the game is fun, right?
Yes.
Then I care, and that is the sort of glimmer of hope I'm holding on to with the pedigree of Rocksteady going into this.
That's what I'm doing.
I like a lot of their games. I like the vast majority of their games. Let's have a Rocksteady game that just happens to be a Suicide Squad thing.
Being a Batman mark, did you watch The Littlest Batman Christmas movie that's on Amazon Prime? It's really good.
What?
The Littlest Batman.
Yeah, it's about Damian Wayne, right? And then his dad is Batman, obviously, and it's Luke Wilson. And it's a really sweet movie, and it's like a full actual Christmas movie, not like some short. It's like a full movie.
Dib would love it.
Dib would love it. My girls do not care. I think it seems like it might have been like a comic book at some point that they adapted, because it like feels very much like a children's story turned into a Christmas movie. My kids don't really care about Batman. They have watched it 4 times.
It's called The Littlest Batman.
I think that's what it's called. It is
Merry
adorable.
Little Batman. Sorry.
Merry Little Batman. There we go. Thank you. Yes, yeah.
Got it. All right, I will check it out. This looks very cute.
Yeah, so you're gonna dig it. All right, February 2nd. Also, Persona 3 Reload.
Let's go.
I am gonna check this out. Although, let's see, Like a Dragon is only like a week before. I wish I had a little bit more time.
It's messed up,
but yeah, that's kind of super messed up. I want to get into Persona. It's not exactly for me, but I think there's a world in which I could force it to happen. I want to force it.
Yeah, I've only checked this out like a couple of hours, and I've had some friends say that Persona 3 has always been their favorite amongst the newer Persona games. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a certain vibe to it. I kind of like how they summon their personas where they just hold up a gun to their head and it's like, that's pretty metal.
It's metal. Yeah, it's cool. It just is. And it looks really good. It's like a full-on remake. They're putting a lot of work into it. I'm ready to check it out. Then February 8th, Helldivers 2. We had a good time with Helldivers. I know people who played a ton of Helldivers and really enjoyed it. Helldivers 2 is going to be sort of that kind of upgrade where people don't know Helldivers is like a 4-player cooperative action game where you go into these instances and you have to like accomplish something and then get to the exit, and it's a top down like dual stick shooter sort of thing. Helldivers 2 kind of brings the camera in close, makes it look more like a modern day PlayStation game, and so it's like, okay, like there's improved presentation, but it looks like the core gameplay is still the same. I think this could be one that really wins us over if we go in there and play something together. So
yeah, and I think the appetite for like a 4-player game, like there's just more of the gaming community is more well versed than when the original Helldivers came out, right?
Agreed. We're very much accustomed to like, we're going from game to game as like groups of friends in a way that we weren't even back then. A big part of that is Discord. But I mean, console gamers now are like, yeah, you have PlayStation Plus and you have Game Pass. So like a lot of these games you're just going to get. Let's just play it together. And even if it's like, okay, well, this one isn't on those services, we already play games together because of PlayStation Plus and Game Pass. Let's just all buy this one and have a good time. We know that when we do that, we have a good time. So that's definitely been a big thing in gaming recently.
I also think the benefit of Helldivers 2 and the original Helldivers is that despite the kind of future Space Marine-ish vibe of it, it's still funny, right? It doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, it's very similar to Lethal Company, right? Where at least in terms of the possibility for hijinks to ensue. Mm-hmm. We had those experiences with the original Helldivers, and I think they know that that's part of the magic of that series. Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered is coming out when? On Lara Croft's birthday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. I don't know. I never loved the Tomb Raider games. I just didn't.
Sorry, really? What?
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. They weren't good.
What do you have against women?
Yeah. What do you have against triangle boobs?
Yeah, listen, I'm just saying, a real game for real men is what I need. I played a lot of Tomb Raider 2, and it was fine. It was like maybe the tank controls, but tank controls never really bothered me in other games. So I think it's just like it was tank controls in a game that overall I didn't think was very fun. But I appreciate its like place in gaming history. Yeah,
I mean, look, it's been a minute. It's been a very long minute since I did all this shit. I'm watching a bit of the trailer now, and I'm like, man, is this it? Like, is this what it's just gonna look like? Like, didn't they do this already? Didn't they remaster these games on PC?
They definitely re-released them with some upgrades. I think. I don't really know.
I think there is something. I have a very warm and fuzzy, nostalgic place in my heart for playing Tomb Raiders 1 through, I'll even say 4. What was the one that premiered on Dreamcast? Was that 4?
There was like the 4th one at least. There was a pretty good Tomb Raider on Dreamcast. Yeah,
I think. Oh, maybe it was The Last Revelation.
Yeah, that's
which is not a numbered one. I don't know. I guess ultimately it does not matter. What does matter is the feeling I used to get of like getting lost in this box. Like that was all the tombs, right? Like all the tombs that you raided were just like these weird boxes with no direction whatsoever. And you just had to figure out that like, oh, one little ledge is like the thing you have to jump off of and catch.
Yeah.
And there's something awful and terrible, but also great about that. I don't know why. I played I finished every single last one of those 1 through 4 games, and yeah, like I don't think I've done it again since that time in my life. But like, just to pick it back up and maybe capture some of that once again.
I know what you mean. Like, those games could only exist in that time, in that way, and there's something special about that at the very least. I like, things change for a reason, but that doesn't mean like the way things used to be, I want to completely throw out. Even if things have gotten better in gaming overall, some of the squiggliness that we used to have to put up with, quote unquote, I don't know, there's something magical about some of it.
Now, let's not ignore the lessons we've learned in the last few years. Like, if you go back and play through all of Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you'll have a worse time with this than you even did with Eternal Darkness.
A game that is much more newer than Tomb Raider.
Well, actually, it's like 2 years later.
No, Tomb Raider, not Tomb Raider 1.
It's like, not Tomb Raider 1. It's like 5 years later, though. It's not that
much.
Is it
really? Oh, okay. All right.
It's okay. It's in that range. I mean, 5 to 8 years.
It was like 96 was Tomb Raider 1.
Yeah, but GameCube was like 2000 through
Eternal Darkness is 04, I think.
Is it a late GameCube? Okay, I can't remember. Okay, that's almost 10 years. Fair enough.
Maybe when was Eternal Darkness was when the fuck were you? Now I need to know.
Yeah, go ahead and look it up while I do this one here. Gunvolt Records Psy Chronicle. I like the Gunvolt games. Yeah, these are Mega Man X like games or in that vein. Yeah, they've been coming out for a while. This one's out February 15th. I'm at least going to check it out just because I've enjoyed Gunvolt games in the past.
It's 02.
02. Okay.
Darkness, yeah.
I was trying to look this up and I was confused as to why everything was so anime lady adjacent, and I thought you put this on here as a goof to me. But no, mission successful.
Hey, listen, anime ladies deserve rights too. Mario versus Donkey Kong is February 16th. This is a remaster/remake of the Game Boy Advance Mario versus Donkey Kong, which is actually a sequel to Donkey Kong 94, one of the best games ever made. Plays a lot like that. I never loved it on Game Boy Advance. I've tried it a couple times recently as well, and I was just like, the visuals on the Game Boy Advance were weird. I didn't like the way it looked, but they're redoing them here, so who knows? Maybe I'll give it a shot and like it this time. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth then is happening February 29th, PlayStation 5 exclusive. Did you guys love Remake? I really liked Remake. I never finished it, but I really liked what I played of it.
I liked Remake a lot. Yeah, I liked it a lot. The combat was absolutely fantastic.
Combat's really, really good. It just is so much fun. Every character you play as in that game, you have a really good time with. Tifa especially is extremely fun to play as. So I'm really, I'm looking forward to Rebirth. Even I won't be following the story that closely. I don't care too much about it personally, but at least the presentation is great, and they're promising 40 hours for this one. So we'll see.
I know a lot of
this one either.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were thrown off by the adjustments being made towards the Final Fantasy VII Remake story, but I welcome all of it. I welcome the Nomura bullshit here.
Right. I'm like, this is a perfect place for bullshit, for Nomura style bullshit. Like a remake that knows it's a remake. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That takes us into March with Homeworld 3 on March 8th. I was a big, in the early days of PC gaming, my parents would have an e-machine from Best Buy, and I didn't have any money, so I was pirating everything. And I'd pirate Civilization and Homeworld, and I played a ton of those games. And I'm like, okay, I'll check back on Homeworld 3. Homeworld 3 is like a real-time strategy game, but in a 3D space. So it's like you can go up, down, left, right, Z-axis, Y-axis, X-axis, all at the same time. And you're controlling these like legions of ships flying around. It always looked really cool. Homeworld 3, March 8th. Then we get... an E-machine, yes. Listen, my parents didn't spend a lot on those PCs. I got a 386 and then a 486. March 20th gets us Alone in the Dark, that other horror game that's not Alan Wake 2 or Resident Evil 4 or a Dead Space 2 or Dead Space remake, I should say. Alone in the Dark got delayed. It's now coming out March 20th. This has David Harbour in it and that other person whose name I can never remember. But I'm so curious about this.
What? Why?
I am too. No, I am too. What do you mean? I am too.
No, I'm saying, why does it have David Harbour in it? What did he do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because actors need to work. I don't know. Sometimes people can't say no, or they have agents that can't say no.
I think we were talking about this, right? But like the strikes must have impacted a a lot of actors to branch out into video games, right?
I think that's what we saw at the Game Awards. I think this happened before the strikes, but
Sure.
but at the Game Awards, we saw a bunch of actors being like, "I'm in a game," and it's like Matthew McConaughey is like, "I'm in a game," and it's like, okay, we know why. That's because of the strike. So.
I think David Harbour likes video games. I think he's a closet freak about video games.
He seems like a chill dude.
Yeah, he's not that much. I mean, look. Also, like, I kept thinking this when fucking McConaughey came out at the Game Awards. I'm like, video games are not niche. They're not like you're not doing something wacky and kooky and under the radar now. Okay, it's like, come on. I'm sure David Harbour, who is of our generation, maybe 10 years our senior, give or take, it's entirely possible that he's like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna be in a video game.
I've always been confused about this series specifically. I don't
me too.
know anything about it.
Yeah, he's 48. David Harbour's 48, 8 years old.
Yeah, there you go.
Writing those down. Alone in the Dark. I played the Game Boy Color one when it came to Nintendo Switch Online. That was weird.
Oh, Jodie Comer, I love her.
Right, who's Jodie Comer?
She's been in stuff. She was in the Ryan Reynolds movie that wasn't Ready Player One, but was pretty much Ready Player One.
Oh,
Free Guy.
Thanks, guys.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. All over it.
Yep.
Do you guys understand the pun of that title, right? This was a big conversation at the time.
Free Guy?
Yeah. Why it's called Free Guy.
No.
Is it because like a free guy is like a one-up kind of thing?
Yes, exactly. Because it's his character name is Guy, and so the stated meaning is free guy, but it is a reference to getting a free guy back in the arcades, which would meant you got a one-up, so you had an extra life.
People, I feel like that phrase is kind of lost on a generation. Right?
Very much, it's of its time, and we stopped using it definitely.
Which that's probably the only good thing about that movie. Was that a good movie? I mean,
it was okay.
There's a scene at the end where he gets like a lightsaber that like went viral about how like cheesy it was. I'm like, in context, this is probably better, but on Twitter, it looks like dog shit. I can't really tell. All right, then. March 22nd, my birthday. Dragon's Dogma 2. Your birthday's this week as well, Bacalar, right? What are you, the 25th?
24.
24th of March. Okay. March 22nd, my birthday, we get 3 big ones: Dragon's Dogma 2, Princess Peach Showtime, and Rise of the Ronin. Dragon's Dogma 2, Capcom is promising big things with this. It's probably going to be a pretty big game. I only played a very tiny bit of Dragon's Dogma. You guys weren't Dragon's Dogma heads, were you?
No, I was not a DD boy.
Yeah, so maybe we'll go into this one. I do want to check out the first Dragon's Dogma still before this, but who's going to have the time?
No.
Princess Peach Showtime, probably going to be one of the final big Switch games. This stars Peach, and the Showtime mechanic is that she could take on all these roles of being like a chef or a ninja, and then she has all these other abilities. That will probably be an improvement over Super Princess Peach, a game where she had emotional powers like crying so much that she would flood the screen, right?
So she's not gonna barge into a subway and start breakdancing around the subway cars. That's not what this game is.
Is that what Showtime is a reference to? Is that?
Can you imagine like a little toad coming in clapping like Showtime?
Kinda, yeah. Especially with that voice.
Is it me, or is like also this mechanic like very Odyssey adjacent to?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, totally. It feels like leftover ideas. This is what you get, Princess Peach.
Let her wear it.
The bad ideas from the Mario game that we didn't use. And then Rise of the Ronin, a PS5 game. This looks really good. It looks like a kind of a From Software-y kind of thing, but I don't know. I think it just looks fantastic, so I'll be curious as we get closer to it. Then in August, and there's a big gap there because we don't have many dates for games after March. August, we get Black Myth Wukong. That is that viral Chinese game that is based on Journey to the West or Journey into the West. I can never remember how to actually... Journey to the West. I think that's right. Most games for China are based on that in the same way that most games in America are based on Sad Dads. This is kind of like an action-y, again, a From Software-y sort of thing. But this studio's also had a lot of news come out about how they might be a pretty bad place to work and how they have a lot of bad views. So we'll see. I wonder if this one's going to come out and actually be like, oh, this is what we were excited for, because it just shows off great in GIFs, but they're going for a big game, and we'll see if they're actually able to pull it off.
Hey, quick cue for you boys. Is Horizon a play on Journey to the West?
me think.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, because it's like Dragon Ball is like the one that's like a really loose adaptation of it,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So here I have a one of these like I don't know what it's called when you conflate two things and you always mix them up. What is that? Is there a word for that?
A mixy
know,
mix.
A
Yeah, the
mixy
mixy
mix.
mix.
I have a mixy mix with Black Myth Wukong and Phantom Blade Zero.
What the hell is
Sure.
Phantom
They
Blade
are-
Zero?
Phantom Blade Zero is just another Black Myth Wukong. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Like they both are like mysteriously teased in similar capacities.
And they're both for PlayStation or showed up at PlayStation shows.
Yeah. They are also like both Chinese developers
Yeah.
that just sort of get clouded up in that fog of
Yeah.
whatever. I don't.
Right.
And they seem very similar. Am I crazy or am I the only person conflating these two?
There was another
No,
game that
definitely.
came out this year that I thought was Black Myth Wukong, and it's
You're
escaping me
thinking
now.
of Wolong.
Oh.
like now what's happening? Like what is happening? Because
Well,
I think there's a
Asset
lot of
flips,
these
like, you know.
right? Like I don't know.
Well, I think what's happening is a lot of Chinese developers have looked at the success of From Software. They probably very much enjoy From Software games, and they're like, we're going to make one of those, and we're not going to stray too far from it. And the stuff where we do stray, we're going to go to pretty familiar territory of Journey to the West. So it's you're going to end up with a lot of games that are. I mean, this happened. Like the Chinese development scene has. I mean, I'm not joking. There are like 25 games that are Journey to the West in one way or the other. It is very, very popular. So you end up with a lot of games that do look very similar. So I think that's kind of accepted and normal in a way that, like some games here, like, oh, we got to try to stand out. And I think still in China, they're like, no, we're happy. We want to be like Journey to the West because that's what the players want.
Yeah.
They want more of that. And so I think we're looking from the outside and going like, why are all these things pretty similar? It's because, well, that's what sells really well in China.
And I mean,
does
like,
very
there's
well.
an obscene amount of like Call of Duty mobile clones, League of
Yes,
Legends,
totally.
and like Dota clones that pop off on mobile. I'm curious as to why there aren't a lot of clones of like the first party Sony games out in China. You know, like where is the clone of Spider-Man or God of War?
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah,
maybe
it's
those
weird.
just don't hit well, like on
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
those markets.
I think, the one that we saw that was trying to ape some of the hype for those Sony games was The Day Before, which was very much trying to look like something like The Last of Us. But
Yeah.
that thing was slapped together by people who didn't know what they were doing. And maybe the people that do know what they're doing are like, that would be very expensive and we wouldn't be able to match that. Making an action game these days probably feels like something that's easy to tackle. Making a big narrative cinematic experience probably would require like $100 million, even in territories where labor is a little bit more affordable. So.
Long story short, Phantom Blade Zero feels like a real game, just maybe a lot further out than Black Myth.
I think I'm trying to remember, because again, I was conflating these as well, Jeff. So this happened to me. There was a lot of interest in this from the PlayStation community, and then they were like, why aren't we hearing more about this? This will be in the next, this is going to be in the next PlayStation showcase. This is going to be in the next State of Play. And then it kept not showing up. And I think there was news of like, oh no, that thing's like super far off and you shouldn't expect to hear much about it for quite some time. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, then in September, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. Space Marine's a pretty good game. Space Marine 2. Yeah, I'll check out Space Marine 2. Again, whenever Warhammer 40K comes up, I just love that there's so many Warhammer games and Warhammer 40K games. Because I think that's the right way to do it with an IP.
I am so scared that I may eventually become Warhammer pilled. It's gonna it might happen.
Henry Cavill just got like confirmed he's going to take on the Warhammer 40K cinematic universe with Amazon Prime Video.
Don't do it, Henry. What are you doing?
So that's our gateway drug right there.
What a nerd.
I do think about that music from what was that 4-player Warhammer 40K one, like Necro Death, whatever it was, but that that organ music, that space organ music that they played when we were in like the space church. It was like, man, that was some good music.
Spurch.
All right. Yes, Birch. Church of Space. All right, we're into the deep TBD games now. I could just go through these alphabetically. Should we just do that, or you guys want to pick
let's
out your
bang
favorites?
through these. Yeah.
Okay. Avowed. So these are like, there are several Xbox games that have been announced that either we know a little bit about or we haven't heard about since they got announced. Avowed is in that space of we've heard a little bit about it in that it was at the Summer Game Fest from them, and they showed a little bit more gameplay. But people came out of seeing that gameplay being like, huh, this is what this game is. I'm not really sure if I'm jiving with this. I'm going to need to play it. And I think it's fair to say that because I saw so many people having that response to it. Do you guys remember that trailer?
I remember the bear.
Okay, yes, yeah. So Avowed, who knows, but this is Obsidian. It's their sort of like hand magic fantasy realm game, and they made it pretty clear that, yeah, it might look like they're doing their Skyrim, but it's not exactly going to be their Skyrim, so I'm not really sure what to expect from it. Baby Steps is a new game from Bennett Foddy and a handful of other people, but I am definitely Foddy pilled. I love everything anything Foddy does. I love Co-op. I love GURP. Give me those games. I play them all the time still. I'm so glad that they're still available online after Flash died. So Baby Steps is, okay, let's take the idea of Co-op and put it in a 3D platformer where you're walking around as an adult man that walks like a baby, and it looks very funny. This is another one that was like in a PlayStation showcase.
Yeah.
And then people are like, what is this? This isn't like a real game. I'm like, this is the realest fucking game I've ever seen. You people don't know what you're talking about.
It popped off like a long time ago, right? Didn't it? It had like a very, very early announcement or something like that.
Right. And then we just got another this was in the PlayStation showcase. I think it was like one of the first things in that, or maybe it was a state of play. Right. But it was one of the first games in the recent one. And so it's like, yeah, this is happening next year. Beastie Ball. Whose is this?
This is mine. I believe this comes from the same developer that made Chicory, but this is a turn-based Pokemon-like volleyball game.
Oh boy.
Ooh, that's interesting.
It's right up my alley. Very excited for anything involving tiles, tactics, and little creatures. I'm not so much into the volleyball aspect, but that sounds like a fun twist on doing the turn-based combat.
Is it like instead of doing attacks on the opposing team, you're doing attacks on the ball, and it's like elemental stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Cool. That.
That's a good idea.
It has a neat look to it. It kind of does like the 2.5D stuff. I just want more people to keep trying to attack Game Freak to take the Pokemon crown, because someone has to be successful eventually.
No, they don't, but they can keep trying. They should keep trying, though. Contra Operation Galuga. This is I love Contra.
Galuga. I hate Galuga.
It's Galuga. I'm like, Galuga? Yeah, Galuga. I love Contra. They've tried to make a bunch of Contra games. Most of the time they are dog shit. I think this one looked pretty bad. But I hope Konami, because listen, I'm just kind of glad that Konami is making games in these franchises I love again. Hopefully that means they're also putting some love into it. That is not a guarantee, though. There's a strong chance that we won't see quality from this game. Then Cook, Serve, Delicious, Remastered. And really, I just included this because what is the best sort of play on remaster in a game? Is it this, or is it the Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition?
I love both.
Oh shit. It's this. Both. No, Remastered is like, I mean, come on. It's funny and delicious. Good. Yeah.
Yes. If they do Red Dead Redemption, they can do Remastered Edition.
Remastered.
Right? No, they don't have to do that.
Shut up, Jake. It's Game of the Year. Expedition's a Mud Runner game. Let's fucking go. I'm a huge fan of the Mud Runner series.
You love mud.
I love mud. I've been a fan of this since it was called Spin Tires, which was like this weird little game. Yes, because the tires would spin in the fucking mud.
Oh, I get it.
Sit there stuck for like an hour.
You got mud in your tires.
And boy, is that my shit. This game looks like the most sort of gamey ass game version of Mud Runner yet, where it's like, okay, you and some friends go out in the world and accomplish these smaller goals. Don't worry about trying to rebuild the world and rebuild these bridges and taking some logs to this gas station so they can open back up. No, it's just like, go drive in any vehicle to this spot, and then it's gonna be like a Ubisoft game. Now you're up there, you can see the rest of the world. Here are a few more expeditions to go on. it looks very good. I'm very excited
I'm
about it.
so happy for you, Grub.
Thank you so much. Foam Stars
Yeah.
is coming next year as well. And did any of us play Foam
I
Stars?
did.
I know some people. Okay, you did. Yeah. How are you feeling about this one?
It doesn't quite feel like it's ripping Splatoon off enough for my taste.
Sure.
I did have a lot of fun with it when I did check it out at Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
It's doing different things where Splatoon, when you're splatting the paint around, you're just sticking to the surfaces. Here they build off verticality with like the foam bouncing on or building on top of each other. The classes felt okay enough. I'm excited to see where this will go and if this will actually have legs versus Splatoon, since it's only on the Switch, right?
Yeah, I think 2023 is going to be, or excuse me, 2024. Jesus, is going to be an interesting year for multiplayer shooters. I think it's I think some of these are going to pop off in a big way. I think Finals is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. If they can,
Yeah.
I think it's going to. Because one of you said it. I think there is a chance for them to keep adding new modes to like keep things interesting, like cycling them in and out, and then one of them's going to pop off and be like, no, this is just what the Finals is now. Everyone's playing this mode. And if they can steward that, I think it's going to end up like by the end of next year, it's like, yeah, we played a ton of Finals, and everyone did.
It's already growing in the charts of like popular streaming too. Like it's starting to percolate. It's starting to happen.
I'm so surprised seeing that some circles that interact with ours are down on the game, because I just love it a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen some like negative sentiment about not enjoying it, thinking it's pretty sparse. When I feel completely the opposite way. I feel like there's a lot there, despite the limited
always
modes.
Does happen though. Like all these games where it's like this one didn't like hit me right away. It's not exactly what I was thinking, and people check back in on it later and be like, okay, you know what? Now that I understand what this is, I'm down with it.
Mm-hmm.
Hades 2. That was originally supposed to come out this year in early access. Thank God it didn't.
Oh my God.
So I can actually play other games. But now it's coming out early next year is what they're promising. Boy, I am going to play the hell out of that. I don't care if it's early access or not. I'm going to be all over Hades 2. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
What else needs to be said?
Exactly. Harold Halibut. This was yours, right, Bacalar?
Yeah. This is another one of those games that gets announced incredibly early and has a very striking... it trailered really well. What can I say? It just trailered really nicely. Has a Wallace and Gromit sort of like stop motion claymation vibe to it. Seems very narrative based. I'm in it just for like, the vibe of what this thing is teasing to be. Beyond that, I don't really know much about it, but I do recall 2024 being the year that they are targeting. So definitely radar looking out for this one.
I looked it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember this. Announced 2021, and it looks very cool. Man, how have we not gotten more claymation style games before, other than Jan's Fears? Of course.
Well, so this one I'm down with.
Okay.
This I think because it's more stop motion than like Wallace and Gromit claymation.
Sure.
I think, I know that grosses you out, and you don't want to hear that. I think like the thing with this that I find troubling is like a lot of games take this path where they do have a very striking debut and they have a very clear envisioned art style or whatever it is, and then they just sort of like can't match the momentum or hype of how they originally
that happened with me with
debuted.
Sable, where it's like I know a lot of people do love Sable, so and that's okay if like that's totally fine. I'm not like, oh, this is a bad game. It just wasn't for me when I ended up playing it.
Right. And that's my worry, is that like it has this striking debut, but can never really match or cultivate the interest that it was able to. It
always is better to have that like strikingness than not, right?
Totally.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I know exactly that feeling of being like, I hope playing it matches the way I feel when I first saw it. And it doesn't always work out that way.
No.
What's Henry Halfhead?
Henry Halfhead is another one of these. When the hell did this get announced? I'm not sure. I think earlier this year. And myself. Is a just like strange sort of definitely in the same the thing that reminded me of was like who did like Chuchel, what was that game?
Chuchel. Yes, Chuchel. God, my kids love Chuchel.
Yeah, like this definitely scratched a similar kind of
this.
Look at this little freak.
Yeah, I think it's a Swiss developer.
It's another one of those Odyssey games, right, where you're taking over different objects.
Yeah. So yeah, I just remember like seeing the reveal and being like, wow, this seems really dope. I love crap like this. Where will it go? What is it? It's just been a bit radio silent since that first debut, but fingers crossed we get to see it in some capacity.
It's hard to move around when you're just half ahead.
That's right.
I want to be a knife and crawl around on the floor. That's what I want to be.
This looks like it first popped off in January. So we'll be at about a year since it got announced. Maybe we'll hear about it soon. That'd be great.
Not holding my breath, but we can hope.
Metaphor Refantasio. This is another game from Atlas that looks, kind of like in the vein of their Persona games. But I think it's more fantasy. I think it was implied by Fantasio. It looked really good when we saw the trailer for it at Summer Game Fest. And I know a lot of people have been looking forward to it for a very long time. What do you think?
I don't know if I am, because it seems a little bit too close to the Shin Megami Tensei series, and those are notorious for being obscenely difficult. And I'm not that I'm not looking for a challenge when it comes to an RPG, but I would like to have fun and not feel the need to grind or bash my head up against the wall. But that being said, I do like all of the menu presentation. It's very stylistic from what we've seen so far.
Yes,
but also
just a ton of style.
Is this a Switch-only game, or am I imagining that?
This was
PC
at
and
the Xbox presentation. I think it's on Game Pass, in fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I believe that's the case.
I'm completely mistaken then, because for whatever reason, I'd conflated that this was a Switch-only game, and hey, that thing's at the end of its life cycle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Mullet Madjack. Backlar, what's with Harold Halibut, Henry Halfhead, Mullet Madjack? What's going on here?
I don't know why these two name games come to me, but here they are. I am inexplicably drawn to them. This is something that got announced earlier this year as well, I want to say.
Oh, I was just looking at this one.
And
yeah,
it's a real small team. Has very much almost like No More Heroes meets an FPS kind of anime thing.
Yeah, like one of those recent New Blood first-person shooter games that are trying to be a throwback to Quake or Duke Nukem.
Totally. Definitely style first for me for sure, but seems like it would be a lot of fun. I don't know. Again, going only off of what this thing looks like, I don't even know if 24 is a realistic release year for this one.
On Steam, the release date says coming soon, which developers do all the time, and it means in the next 5 years.
Yeah. So
this one, I think it looks great, and then I'm like, wait, are mullets still a funny thing, or is that Chuck Norris jokes? I'm worried about that.
Mullets are here, and they seem to be staying.
Mullets are huge,
huge.
Yeah, I think mullets a style, but if mullets is your
default,
your attitude, I guess I don't know.
I think the mullet has gone through a renaissance.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's emphasis on the Madjack.
Right. Okay.
What we'll do here, and also the developer calls itself Hammer 95.
That's pretty sick.
I want to fuck around with that.
That means they're younger than me, though. If we're going by screen name ages.
Totally.
No.
Then Pacific Drive. This is one I've been very interested in for a while. It is a roguelite, but you're in a beat up old station wagon, and you drive around the world, and it's wild stuff happening in the Pacific Northwest. Aliens in the sky or big electric clouds. And it seems like there's a ton more going on. And I watched Lucy play a bunch of this. I think we both did, right, Jan? We watched Lucy play this at PAX. Were you there?
Pacific Drive. Yes.
Pacific Drive, yes. And I'm like, okay, very into what they showed here. And when I talked to the developers at the GB at Night show, they were on there. they were like, yeah, we were kind of like really condensing the loop to that point just to get to the fun, but like there's so much more going on in the world. So very interested in this one. I love the idea. I love the entire idea of roguelike and being in a beat up old car is like the way to explore the world. That's pretty cool. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. They are remastering that one, releasing it for the Switch. Definitely in the top 3 for Mario RPGs. For a lot of people, it's number 1. For me, it's like it is number 3, but it's because I like Mario RPG and then Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. But no, this game is a delight, and it's really awesome that a whole new generation is going to get a chance to play it. It's also like encouraging because for a while people were worried that Nintendo wouldn't let Mario games, even the RPGs, have kind of expressive different kinds of characters. They all had to be like a default look model for a Goomba or whatever. And this one has all these like funky characters that look very different. And it's like, well, if they're going back to this game again, maybe they've softened up their position on that. And when we get new Paper Mario games in the future, if we do, they can be more expressive again. That would be nice.
That Goomba's a lady.
A lady Goomba, finally. Goombette. Goomhilda is actually the one in Super Mario RPG, actually. Penny's Big Breakaway. This is the 3D kind of Saturn Dreamcast looking era platformer from the team that did Sonic Mania. And Beckar, you put this on here, and I went to go look at the trailer again. It looks so cool. I'm very happy with the way this game looks.
Hell yeah. It's like, man, it seemed like it was the most competent like platformer thing, right? Like you just sort of like got that. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Penny's Big Breakaway. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. It seems like the most competent like platformer, demonstration that you could like ask for. Right. There's something so. I like buy whatever it's selling right away. Do you know what I mean?
So many other 3D platformers, like they get close, they want to be inspired by that era of platformers, and then it's like, there's something missing. I am confident that this team has the competency to pull this off. After playing Sonic Mania and knowing how much they understood that game, how deep into Sonic they got so that they could extract everything that was fun about it and make the best Sonic game ever, I am very confident they're going to be able to pull that off with Penny's Big Breakaway.
It just seems like, again, I know we are inferring a hell of a lot out of a trailer, but like, there's just something that I just believe about this game.
It's also got a great visual style too. I mean, like the color scheme is way different than a lot of other games like this.
Hell yeah.
The Plucky Squire, that one where you plays the little squire who like runs around the world and they can hop into books and hop onto the side of mugs in the real world. I am very excited about this one. It just has such a good idea, right?
It's real cute.
Yep, absolutely. Another Xbox game that we've heard about a bunch. We don't have a date for necessarily, but seems like it could be the next big Xbox game. Senua Saga? Is it Senua or Senua? Senua Saga Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2, listen, I'm not a big Hellblade guy, but I always think Hellblade 2 looks really magnificent in terms of visuals.
Agreed. I just, for the life of me, can't get into these games.
I couldn't play Hellblade. I tried. It was not for me.
I do. When I played Hellblade, I knew that I could do it if I gave it more time. Like again, it's an old game now. It's like, what is it? Like 6 or 7 years old now.
Yeah.
And I just remember being, I never went back to it for better or worse. I'll definitively call it for worse. But I think Ninja Theory just does something that they are a developer that I'm like constantly sort of in awe of. And I think their pedigree over the years has just been like, maybe undervalued in a big way.
I think this is going to be their this has a chance to be their big statement game, right? Their big breakout in a lot of ways.
Because I do think this one's going to be more accessible.
I imagine that's the case too. Yeah.
I think they'll pivot and maybe accommodate to a more general audience without compromising the integrity of like what the original sort of game dealt with thematically and kind of like the spirit of that. This feels way larger than life of what they're sort of teasing. I'm deeply excited for it. I gotta move the original up to like the top of the priority list for backlog.
That'd be interesting. If we came back from break and you got ready to talk about, that'd be cool.
But yeah, this feels big.
Jan, was it you that had the Phoenix Down moment with this, where that's like Hellblade from the makers of Heavenly Sword? Heavenly Sword?
No, but I'm having it
Hellblade?
now.
Yes, right? Heaven Sword, Hellblade.
Heavenly Sword's awesome.
Yep.
Oh yeah, give me some more Heavenly Sword, huh?
Heavenly Sword, Enslaved. Don't forget they did Odyssey to the West, which is
Yeah.
also really fucking good. Even DMC. I mean,
Yep. That's a pedigree right there. That's a good
and they
studio.
seem to have like Andy Serkis on retainer.
Yeah.
Oh, they got the Cirque?
They got
Yeah.
Turkey, yeah.
They're running Cirque Deep, definitely. Speaking of running deep, Still Wakes the Deep. I think this is the one that had that trailer. It takes place on an oil rig, and it had a trailer at Summer Game Fest or somewhere that Dan saw, and Dan was like so extremely bored by it. Yeah,
Yeah, this one.
But I like oil rigs. Something about an oil rig.
You just like isolation.
Yeah, maybe I do. Yeah, I do. Like the idea of just like being alone somewhere, that rules. This game looks like it could be really cool. It is a person exploring what looks like an abandoned oil rig on the ocean, and that's pretty cool.
I for me, like, I just like the kind of mystery about that,
right?
Because I do think that's what this game is. But and also the Chinese room like does a lot of good stuff. Like, I was really into what the fuck was that? It was like oh no, they weren't the Swan game. They were Everyone's Gone to the Rapture.
Yeah. They do. Yeah. What else did they do?
And which is a very strange and fun game. They did the first. Was it the first Amnesia game?
No,
right?
they did Amnesia, a Machine for Pigs. Which
so
is,
that was like the second one, right?
Yeah.
Dear
Sterling. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think they have an interesting enough kind of pedigree that I will check this out.
And they are making Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which is also coming out next year, apparently. We'll see, though.
How does one play Heavenly Sword in 2024?
I think
I'm doing it. I'm doing it on my Steam Deck.
Oh, yeah, there you go. We'll get you hooked up on your Steam Deck, Jan.
Okay.
With that.
All right.
Squirrel with a Gun. It's a game where a squirrel has a fucking gun.
Cool.
It's a big gun, too. Well, I mean, it's a normal sized gun and a normal sized squirrel. So it looks like a big gun, but he's just carrying it and shooting people in it. Boy, this is the one where you go like shoot a gun down and it like pushes you up in the air, right? Because you're a little squirrel.
I think so.
So it's like part of the platforming. That's
something. The game just like look. I just laughed my head off when I first saw it. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay. Like do this and I'll check it out. And it's like a kind of like a realistic looking gun too. And you're just like, how the fuck did this squirrel get this gun?
Yeah, it's like it's got Goat Simulator vibes a little bit, which I love. I love that.
That's exactly right.
Yo, this squirrel can't hear for shit after
it's blown its eardrums out for sure.
And then Thank Goodness You're Here is another one I played at PAX, I think.
You did play it?
Yes.
Oh, this one,
This is the one where I played it. I'm like, I think I get these jokes. And then I like talked to Lucy and Tam later, and they're like, yeah, it's from the North. We got all of those jokes. They are hilarious. I'm like, oh, okay, good. I'm glad you got them because I think I got them, but I'm not exactly sure. It's very cartoony. You explore these scenes, these like vignettes, and like each one leads to another one and another one, and then suddenly you get to like a wall, and it's like, I need meat from the store, and you have to like go to break into a deli and get meat out of the back and give it to a guy to open up a new scene so you can keep moving along. A lot of it's like, okay, like go get some water, and you follow a hose and it leads you down a well, and that leads you into like a secret sewer city or whatever. There's a ton going on, and it looks very nice, and it's it does have a strong sense of place and humor.
Yeah, I love the look of this. It reminds me of something, and I can't place it.
Yes, no, we're gonna get to it.
It's like regular show adjacent. With
it's definitely regular show adjacent. Yeah.
Yes, I believe it's called like Adventure, like City Town or something like that.
Big City Green.
Is that?
Oh, it's a Max show, isn't it?
No, I think it's like some sort of like Sesame Street adjacent cartoon where like a snake has a hat on and it's teaching you about math. Stuff like that.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking
about. That's just Baccalaure's dreams.
No, it's most certainly a thing. Speaking of regular show, we were talking about something that has a regular show alumnus involved in it.
Really?
I think it was, yeah.
Right.
What the hell was it now?
Can't remember anything.
We can't remember anything.
It was Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, of course.
No, it was not. I think
Oh.
it wasn't Alone in the Dark. It was something.
Here, figure it out. Let's get this last one. Zinler's Zone Zero.
This is a gotcha game.
Jan?
Of course.
Oh,
this is
Jesus
me.
Christ.
There's anime in it. It's a gotcha game. Oh, you know what? This is actually one of those instances where I think Asian developers may be trying to ape Spider-Man, because if I recall correctly, there is a strong platforming grappling component to this game. I could be completely mistaken and be thinking of something completely different, but I think that's what this is. I don't know.
Like a visual novel to me, but that's just because
it's got a look to it. I enjoy the look. I enjoy the anime. And you know,
you do.
Yeah.
This is from Hoyoverse. This is Hoyoverse, a MiHoYo game.
It's a MiHoYo joint. And
okay.
You know, there is more to those games than people give them credit to.
Oh, definitely, yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they're massively popular, other than the waifus.
Yeah.
All right, that does it. I don't know. What do you guys? What's the big ones for you?
It's maybe Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Hades 2 is definitely the one I'm like I can't stop thinking about.
I don't think there's anything that I can't stop thinking about. Definitely excited for Hades 2. I'm a big dumb asshole because the thing that was the regular show person was the littlest Batman. It was a Merry Little Batman. That's
okay.
That's the regular show connection.
Well, that explains the quality of that thing. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. There's not like I don't know.
Is there anything that is like, well, this is kind of a Jeff Backlard game? Because for me, obviously, that's Expeditions, a Mud Runner game. Like, really, I will be throwing myself into that. I'm going to go wild for that one.
No, I don't know. Obviously, this year there were like a dozen games that had me written all over it, and I think this year is hopefully a year that I'm surprised by.
Well, let's talk about that. Do we think that next year is going to be able to get close to matching 2023? Are we worried about? Okay, yeah, sure. We have a couple things from Nintendo that seem to be send-offs to the Switch, and we have things that were previously announced from Xbox, but not a ton that are confirmed for next year. And PlayStation, kind of crickets. I mean, we saw the leak that maybe there's going to be Spider-Man 2 online. From Insomniac, but that's like a new mode sort of thing. How are we feeling about the games that are announced next year and then the games that aren't announced?
I love to be surprised and I love to be wrong. I think 2023 I was wrong a lot of the time, and I was pleasantly surprised and happy about that fact. I'm also excited about the potential for stuff to get stealth dropped. I mean, we saw nothing about Hi-Fi Rush this year, and then that came out of nowhere.
Very good point.
And yeah, just who knows what will pop up from like the indie scene, what'll blow up and take over like the cultural zeitgeist, right?
Yep, totally.
I'm excited to see how some 2023 games are going to grow. Like, I'm really, really excited and hopeful about the potential of the finals.
Yeah. And for me, it's going to be the way this year went was a ton of huge, massive games, and then some of the most fun is here's Lethal Company out of nowhere on Steam. And we're going to go play that and have a great time. Yeah. I'm expecting that to be even more the case in 2024. Games out of nowhere on Steam that take over the world. That's as long as that keeps happening, I'm going to be good with games. So, yeah, that's 2024 as it stands right now. I guess the next time we talk to everybody, it will be 2024, right, Jan?
Yeah, it'll supposedly be January 2nd. Is when we come back, I may ask for a couple days off. Before or that week, because I could use some more decompressed time. But hey, gents, I hope you had a fantastic holiday break. I hope you at home had one as well, restful. I hope you stayed warm, stayed loved, played some games that you missed, or replayed some games that you love so close and hold dear to your heart. We at giantbomb.com love you. Wish you a fantastic year and wish you a happy, happy, happy new year as well. And we'll see you then for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. I've been Jan, he's been Jeff, and that has been a fire that's been going underneath Jeff Grubb this whole time.
Oh my God.
We'll see. He's pretty toasty.
Yeah,
we'll see you. We'll see you next year. kisses on the cheek, on the mouth, on the forehead, and you know what? A good side hug. Nice.
Yeah.
Just nestle you in right here. Like, there we go. We love you.
Love you.
Bye. Be good.
It was Busy World. Richard Scary.
Oh,
That's the
I
stuff
love
I'm
Richard
thinking of.
Scary.
Yes, from Thank Goodness You're Here.
The little worm.
Got it.
The little worm
Yeah, the
guy,
little
right?
worm guy.
Yeah. Giant Bombcast is brought to you by the little worm guy inside all of us.